Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Welcome to Studio Chatter. Besides a pandemic to deal with, we're being attacked by scammers. We'll talk about that.
Hi, I'm Stacey Beck. Salons are reopening. We'll talk with one owner that just reopened her doors.
And I'm Angie Murphy. We'll talk about the class of 2020 and how they're handling the isolation.
We've got lots to talk about coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. We moved from level red to DEFCON orange. Woo-hoo! Oh, that's nice. The orange. Very nice.
I just thought of that right when you said that.
We kind of thought we'd be together tonight, huh? Not quite yet.
Maybe next time.
Next time.
Maybe next time.
Maybe.
So Pete's giving us the definite
maybe
not.
No,
I know,
Pete, we
I kind
can.
of feel like all that, I feel like some people never went to red. Like they've just stayed orange or green. And then I feel like people are going from red to like full on green. Like there's not going to be a lot of in between with some people. How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, and I think it goes from family to city to state to country. Everyone does it different. My motto through this is I do me and not worry about what other people do, because I think we can get in a negative headspace and really be so over concerned about what other people are doing, what things they're doing outside, inside, people together. And I'm just like, I'll just do us, our family. Right. And someone might look at us and think that we're not doing it right. Like, am I wearing a face mask every time at the store? No. Should I be? Yes, probably.
Right. You know, I didn't even think about it like that, though, Stace, but it's true. Everyone's going to see it differently, and their level of comfort is different, but you can control you. And so if you're taking your precautions, what you feel like is best, then that's the best that we can do. And then remove yourself if there's a situation that you don't feel comfortable in.
Exactly.
I would have to agree. I mean, and I think this is like, I'm watching my friends and all of their posts on social media, and it's, I think you have to take that approach because it is very hard to not have an opinion. And I know even for me, there are certain rules that I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll bend that one a little bit, but it has to be what you're comfortable with. And I think the biggest factor is really, even with the face mask, it's not necessarily to protect yourself, but it's to protect others. And I think that's been kind of the message all along, is make sure that you're wearing it for the greater good.
I know I should be better for others.
Start today, Stacey. You can always start today.
Yeah.
So how long do you feel like we're going to be in orange, like Stacey's shirt?
Middle of May.
Okay. I would say you think that's soon?
I think between May 15th and May 30th, we'll be going to yellow. Probably a little closer to May 30th.
Okay.
I mean, true, I don't have a crystal ball, nor do I have an inside scoop.
Well, I think that's super optimistic, and it's always hard to know. And as you've mentioned, I think we're in a completely different situation than other parts of the country. So everybody has to kind of do what's best for their family, their community, their state, the country, however it rolls down, again, for the greater good. But enough of that. What's been going on in your lives? What have you taken on?
What really can go on? I've been to the nursery several times and planted new flowers.
Well, I think you had a home project. So something going on in the backyard.
Yes.
Okay.
Still in the middle of that.
You're still in the middle of it. Okay.
Yep. That's not on my rate. I mean, I can't build a deck. I can plant flowers, so.
But it's going on in your home, and
that's going on.
Okay.
That's true.
So, and what about you? I think that you actually went on an outdoor excursion. I feel like a stalker. Like I know what you're doing.
Well, I kind of post my life out there recently, so yeah.
No, it's a good thing.
At work, usually you'd be like, "Oh, what'd you do over the weekend?" Now, no one really asks me because they've seen like, yeah, I know. I posted about that last night. But yeah, we ended up going up to Schofield and went camping with just a small group of family. And it was really a fun time. Up there was gorgeous. It did rain a little bit and got windy, but we were catching fish like every 5 minutes someone had one on the hook. And that was really fun to have all the kids out there. And it just felt so good to be in the fresh air. I was just eating it all up. But I hadn't been up there for years, and I thought I'd get up there and it'd be like crazy train, because I've seen on the news and stuff, some of the lakes and stuff. It's just like people everywhere. And it was really like, it was pretty chill up there. I mean, there was some other camps going on, but everyone was really respectful of each other. And so it was good. It was fun to be there.
Good.
Nice.
Natasha, what about you?
Well, I have done something I've never done in my entire life. I think that my mom would be so super proud of me, because I am not artsy at all. Like I even hated coloring books when I was a small girl.
No, remember we went to the cookie crave with you.
Oh my gosh, you guys would be just as proud of me. That's right. I can't say in the line or anything. Yes, it was. But guess what I did? I need to send pictures. I actually taped off a wall all by myself, and it had 2 quarts of paint, and I painted an entire wall, changed out the color, changed the bedroom, changed her life. So,
oh my goodness,
I have a happy 9-year-old.
So this was just a plain wall, and you just painted it like with the roller brush.
No, it wasn't plain. No, that's the best part.
Just draw a mural.
No. It was pink. It was pink though. It was pink before. So I didn't really test to see if I needed primer. I just kind of went for it. I got the brushes, but it had little intricate lines and divots because it had a shelf, and I don't even know, what do you call the wood that has like patterns in it? I don't know.
Paneling?
No, not paneling. Maybe like modern paneling or something, but
like something like this.
Yes, like that, and it had like a little lip on the edge, but I got in there with my little tiny brush and I taped it off, and I did it all by myself. I was so proud.
Okay, so what color did you go?
So she picked aqua blue. So we are in the aqua blue phase of life, and I'm talking about Barrett because she wanted to change for her room, so we changed the wall, we changed around the furniture, we have some little fairy lights. I'm probably going to do window coverings. I'm about as domestic as I can be right now.
Good for you.
Yeah,
that was good.
That's awesome.
Well, so I will share pictures. So it was a lot of fun. Enough about that. Next on Studio Chatter, remember your senior year in high school? Well, it's not the same this year. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Our senior years, graduation parties, proms, sports, boom, all gone. Let's welcome Ramsey Anderson and her mother, Dawn Draper. Ramsey is the senior class president at Spanish Fork High School, rather the student body president. And Dawn is a counselor at Spanish Fork High. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, girls.
Girls. We're old ladies, okay. Girls and younger old lady.
Ramsey, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
What a crazy year. Who would have thought, starting out into this year of high school, that it would end up like this? However, it seems like you're having more of a happy ending than you thought you might. So tell us what is happening as of late. What has changed?
So at the beginning of this, we weren't quite sure what to expect as far as the normal traditions and things like that. So like prom, graduation, senior sunset, all of those things we thought were just gone. But lately, we've been working a lot with the administration to see if we could still have some of those things. And our principal, Mr. Christensen, has been amazing. He said that even if it goes into the summer, there definitely is a possibility of us having things like prom and senior sunset, and that we would still be able to plan those. So that's really exciting for us. And we've been able to do a lot of really fun virtual activities that wouldn't have happened any other way. So it kind of brought out our creativity.
What
are some
virtual?
Virtual.
Yeah. I was going to say she's got to share these. They're awesome. She came up with some really cool ideas that the other high schools followed suit after her. So
Okay, let's hear them.
Yeah.
So the very first thing we did, it was called the Spanish for Coronavirus Challenge. So it was a list of 146 challenges that kids could do in a period of 4 weeks. And each challenge came associated with a certain amount of points. So some were just small and like 5 points, and then some were up to 45, 50 points. And they were things like eat an entire lemon, duct tape someone to a pole, make your own America's Funniest Home Video. So we got really fun responses from those, and lots of kids who really enjoyed just having an idea of something different to do during that time. And then we ended up having a winner who won a cash prize. So that was really awesome. And then the week after that, we did an 8-ball tournament. So there's Game Pigeon, the app on your phone, where you can play different games, and you can play 8-ball, which is basically pool, against other people. So we set up a bracket as a student council and had kids from the high school text in and do that. So that was really exciting as well. And we're working on some other things right now for the last few weeks.
Thank goodness these kids are like young and smart, because just getting on Zoom is like, I have to get on early and practice. I can't imagine setting up a tournament online. I'm like, Pigeon, what? What is that? You guys are so awesome. So Ramsey, what's one of like the things that you think that you've missed the most? I know that we've had some highs with it all too. What's the one thing that you've missed the most with all of it?
So I think a lot of kids are focusing more on the bigger events, and that hasn't been something that I've been as worried about or missed the most as just being at school. I've had to go back to the school to get a couple of things for student council and help with certain things. And every time I go back, just walking through those halls and seeing all the posters that we made makes me really miss being able to walk through the halls when they're busy and seeing everyone giving people high fives in the hallway. And just being able to be there with my peers and with my teachers. I miss those people that I don't get to see anymore.
And Dawn, as a mother, what have you missed the most with everything?
it's been really hard because she is my only child. So, and I've been working at that school since she was 5. So she has been coming there forever. So in my mind, I'm like, this is how it's going to go. I'm so excited. And she's been so involved in the school, like everything, student body. She loves everything Spanish Fork, literally. And so it was kind of like, I was excited. Like we were looking forward to prom, and I was going to take her, for those of you who have girls, to like Salon. We were going to get an awesome prom dress. And when it all stopped, I was like, first on Friday when it stopped, I was like, whatever. I was like, they'll be back on Monday. Are you kidding me? And so that wasn't, a big deal. And then all of a sudden at 4 o'clock, they're like, you're not coming back. I was like, what? Like there just was a cutoff. And it was like, even the teachers were saying, we didn't say goodbye. Like we really didn't think we were done with these kids. This isn't, so that's been sad. And I mean, obviously we've had a lot of tears at our house. So, and there's been, and it's hard to watch her be so sad, because I, as a mom, feel like I'm losing out on this too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing out on these things with her that I, for the last 15 years, raised everyone's kids and watched them all do these things, which is awesome. And I love them. I mean, I love my high school kids more than anything, but I was like, oh, now I'm missing out with my child. But there's been other good things that have happened along the way. Like you said, I mean, they're growing. This 2020 class is going to gain some resilience that no other class has.
Absolutely. Well, and there's probably, there's things that you're never going to be able and get back. You can't get back time per se, but I expect that you probably have some amazing post-graduation plans. So what does the future look like for you?
What does it look like for you, kid? I am going to Utah State University in the fall. That's really exciting. And then hopefully I'll leave in January on an LDS mission. So that's exciting too.
Those are both very exciting.
Yeah, really awesome stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, because I don't have high schoolers, has it been super hard? I mean, it's hard for us grown-ups, but I can only imagine how much more difficult it is for you younger kids about social distancing. How How was April for you?
Oh my goodness. I think for me, I take a lot of rigorous classes and have a lot of responsibilities. So being with my friends is such a big outlet for me. Something that I need that to be able to get rid of stress and so that has been really difficult not to have that outlet. But also I miss all the people. I love the students at Spanish Fork and I miss them and I miss my teachers. And so yeah, it's been very difficult. But that said, I think we have found a lot of really cool ways around that to still be able to communicate. And in a way, I think we are closer because of it.
Wow, this is like so inspiring to listen to you, but then heartbreaking when I listen to Dawn and missing out on your only child, like one-time things. You can't go back and get a redo.
No, we can't, but we've kind of come. I think I cycle with her, and sometimes I'm frustrated or mad.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, I have no control.
Right.
So the only thing I can control is my attitude, and that's kind of the nice thing is I'm like I can choose how I want to deal with this, and you know what, we're gonna make the best of it. Like I see her a lot more when she's gonna go away to college. She runs us and a bunch of old ladies in the morning. She's getting all kinds of.
Well,
good job, Ramsey.
I think as an only child, and I can say this because I relate to you that way. I grew up an only child, and so high school and school for me in general was always my outlet. It was my social outlet. Like I had my parents at home, but I always looked forward to going to school to see my friends. So I'm not surprised that you said that at all. So I'd be curious to know if you made a time capsule of this year, what 5 things would you put in that time capsule?
Oh my goodness. I think it's just difficult because it would be hard to narrow it down. I would probably put my SBO jacket in that time capsule just because that's been something that's been a big part of my year. Probably my cross country, one of my bibs from cross country because I run cross country and I've loved that. And maybe a golf ball. I play golf on the high school team. And we haven't been able to have any tournament because of this. So that would be a good reminder of how much I love that. I have 2 more items, so I'm not quite sure. I would.
You think of homecoming?
Yes, I would probably. I still have my homecoming ticket and my little like the strip that you have from the photo booth. I have those hung up on my picture wall in my bedroom, and I love those. So I'd probably put those in because that was a super fun week. And I am not sure what else.
Your report card or your
or a copy of your diploma when you get it. Maybe I'll challenge you to do that and maybe open it 10 years from now and see where you are and what's going on. That'd be really fun to have you back here, assuming that Studio Chatter's still around.
We hope so.
And I was going to ask Ramsey, and it's maybe too much for you to think about right now, but have you thought about like one thing that you would want to share with the Spanish Fork High School student body, like one message with all this that's happened, or just in general about your high school experience, what you kind of want to leave them with this year?
I think if I could leave them with anything, it would be the idea of remembering where you came from as a Dawn and using that as a catalyst to propel you forward to where you want to go with your dreams. Because I think Spanish Fork is obviously a very special school. I think it's different. And I might be a little biased because I grew up with my mom as a counselor, but I do think it has a special environment. The community is just amazing and all the kids just know and love each other. And so I think that's really special. And I know all these kids, I know they all have really big dreams and ambitions. And I think it's so important not to let anything keep us from getting to those dreams and ambitions. But I think something that is important in helping with that is to remember Spanish Fork High School and remember all the lessons that you learned in high school and let those be something that helps you accomplish what you want to accomplish.
I got a little bit teary. I mean, that's perfect. From where you came from creates who you are, and all this stuff that's gone on just can make you even stronger and more connected to that class, I think. So good girl. Good job.
Ramsey, just know that all of the community stands behind you seniors too. We're just super excited that you get to do something here at the end of the month and have a graduation. It will look like nothing else that has ever happened. And it'll be super unique. And you guys, at every class reunion, you'll look back on this and have such unique stories, and you have our support. And I think we're lucky that we do have SFCN. We just heard that it will be aired. And so you can watch that on YouTube or on SF17 and see everything there and see your classmates. So best of luck and congratulations. You're a rock star.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, now and in your future.
Thank you.
I told her next year the kids are going to be like, we can't graduate in front of the rock. We have to go to UVU. Are you kidding me? They're going to be.
I know they're going to be jealous. I think it's going to cause some jealousy now.
Yeah, for sure.
Certainly going to change things. Well, thank you for being here with us, ladies. Coming up next, be careful opening up those emails or text messages. They could be trouble. Stay with us for more studio chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. You get a text message. That looks normal enough. But if you click on that link, you could put yourself in a big mess. Say hello to Mike Olsen. We know Mike because of his years of working on Fiesta Days. He is also a 30-year expert in cyber forensics. Mike, is life really scary out there?
Life is actually very scary out there, but not so much that you need to panic and go into your shell. You just need to be cautious.
Okay.
The intro, though, it said click on the link. So just opening the email, is that just as scary as clicking on the link in the email?
Okay, so that's a great question, Angie. Actually, it's not, because I mean, we all get emails. For example, I got an email the other day from Amazon. It said your account's been temporarily locked, and I thought, nah, this doesn't sound right. So I looked at it, and in the from section, it was from some random number that is .com. And then I looked, then if I hovered my mouse over the link that it wanted me to click on, again, going to some random website that wasn't associated with Amazon at all. But it was very cleverly disguised because it had the Amazon logo in it, and it looked pretty official. However, as you started reading through it, you saw some telltale signs of what to look for in a phishing scam or an email scam. The language is notoriously poor. Instead of we're, W-E''RE, it was W-E-R-E. And typically the sentences are not formed properly. They're not punctuated correctly. So those are some telltale signs. Another telltale sign on a phishing scam or an email scam is urgent. Your account's going to be locked within the next 24 hours. You must respond now. Well, we all hate to think that we're going to get locked out of Amazon or Facebook or whatever it is we're trying to go to. So we fall prey to this panic that, oh, I need to respond right now. If you think there's something wrong with your account on Amazon or Facebook or wherever, go to the normal web page that you log into. Go to Amazon.com, go to Facebook.com or wherever, and log in that way versus clicking on a link in an email. Oh, and for the record, Windows technical support is never going to call you and tell you there's a problem with your computer. Please don't fall prey to that. I can't tell you how many times I've had to fix computers or help friends and family through a situation where, well, they told me something was wrong with my computer. I needed to just type this into my browser and they could take over for me. Yeah, well, they've taken over for you. They've installed all types of malware. They can now track what you're typing on your keyboard and all things like that. So Windows support's never going to call you.
I did that one. It was a pop-up though.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a pop-up that said like something's wrong, like download this. Yeah,
right.
I know. Okay, I fell for it.
So did you just start over from ground zero, or were you able to?
I called my IT guy and had him log in, and then he cleaned up the mess that we had accidentally made.
There are some very nasty little programs that can get installed on your computer from links like that or from scams like that, where they have what they call a keyboard tracker, and they can actually log, or keyboard logger. They can actually monitor every stroke you put on your keyboard. So if you're going to your banking account website and you put in your password, guess what? They not only get your login credential, they also have your password credential, and then they're in, and then they own you. So are there scary things out there? Yes. Do you need to be scared about them? No, but you do need to be very cautious and use some good judgment. Be skeptical. You know, healthy skepticism is not a bad thing.
Wow.
What do you think it is about a pandemic that gets those predators online for frauds or trying to take money or take advantage of people and their goodwill? Maybe something that could look like a donation that isn't.
You know, Natasha, I think that's a very good question. I think it's at the base of our psyche, of our personalities, and that's fear. You know, we are afraid of being caught up in this pandemic of being infected. And if there's a way that we can help others, we also generally feel compassion. So we say, wow, this looks like a way I could go help somebody. Well, chances are when you go to click on one of those websites or respond to one of those emails, they want you to wire money or send cash or buy gift cards and send them because it's easier for us to cash them here than dealing with international monetary funds, things like that. They're all scams. I mean, never would you send cash to somebody you just got an email from. You know, the Prince of Nigeria does not have 20 million waiting for you if you'll just send him 5.
Or Publishers Clearinghouse. I know they're kind of legit, but yeah, we have had family members that keep buying subscriptions because they're $7,000 closer to the jackpot.
Yes, if you read the fine print on Publishers Clearinghouse, it says a purchase does not increase your chance of winning, and a purchase is not required to enter. You know, so
okay, I need to blow that up.
They do skate around the law by that. But Natasha, back to your question, I think in general we all want to help each other. We all want to be good, and so we're thinking, hey, if we can help somebody, let me do it. You know, you brought up this thing of COVID-19, and there seems to be a large influx of people saying, hey, we've got a cure for coronavirus. Hey, if you'll donate to us, we can find a cure faster. Well, the bottom line is you're not going to hear about some miracle cure via email or some text message. Guess what? You're going to hear from you know, the CDC. You're going to hear it from the government, the Department of Justice, from your local doctor. You're not going to hear about it from an email that pops up in your email box one day. So, so if a cure is found or when a cure is found, you'll hear it through official channels. Don't fall prey to somebody who's selling a silver toxin or a silver tonic that's going to solve your problem.
Yeah. So, Mike, I wanted to ask, do we need to make sure the URL, so that is that what it's called, the URL right up on top? Are there special keys that we need to make sure, like HTTP is there? Does that matter to make it a legit service?
Stacey, that's a good question. You know, if you're looking at anything that is banking related or has anything to do with a credit card, you should always see HTTPS at the front. S stands for secure. It's a secure layer, and anybody who's doing legitimate business will be using an HTTPS beginning at the end of beginning of their website. And so yes, that's a very good thing to watch for. You know, as long as we're talking about computers too, you need to be diligent. You need to have some type of a virus protection on your computer. You need to make sure that it's up to date, and yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but what's your time worth? You know, if you get hacked or if your computer goes down for a week and you do a business on it, or you've got a bunch of personal stuff on it and you're down for a week, yeah, invest in a good virus protection program for your computer. And there are
and I have a question.
Go.
I have a question about passwords and kind of that kind of stuff. So I have a tendency to keep the same one and rotate it with how I use it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is it best, like when you go to sign up with something and they give you, this is a strong password, and they give you an option or putting in your own? Is there any more safety out of one or the other?
Absolutely. Chances are, Angie, and I won't try and guess your password, but chances are your passwords that you're using are somehow associated with personal information about you, whether it's your birth date, whether it's your kids' names, whether it's your anniversary date, whether it's your address or whatever. You're grinning. I must have hit on maybe 3 or 4 of them for you. But we all do it. Natasha's taking the fifth on this. But we all do it because it's a pain in the butt to remember passwords. And I say that it's a pain to remember passwords. Okay. So the best thing I could suggest is get a password manager. Have it on your phone, and have different passwords for different websites. You know, if for example on this Amazon spoof that I got, if I put in my credentials and it happened to be the same password that my bank account uses, well, guess what? They've got my user account most likely and my password, and then they can just start going rampant on any information they have collected on me to try and see if that password I provided will crack something. So get a password manager and use different passwords. You know, I suggest to people, maybe let's say you're going to go to Amazon. You may put in the first 2 letters of Amazon, AMA, and then the same 6-letter string or something at the end. Then when you go to Gmail or Google, you may put in GOO, and then that same 6-letter string, so that it's easier for you to remember, but it's unique to each website.
I like that idea.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get a password manager like something like LastPass or Keeper that you can run on your phone as well as run on your computer on your browser. And I would just suggest you start moving your passwords to a good password manager and keeping them completely unique. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important also to probably change things often, especially now during a vulnerable time. You know, so many people that maybe don't spend so much time on the internet or on their phones that are on it more now than ever, to make sure that you are keeping track of those passwords, that you are updating them often. Mike and I also know each other from a professional aspect, and this week, in fact, we would be in Florida at one of the conferences that we normally attend. Yes. So it's kind of interesting to be touching on all of these things and the internet traffic, you know, that's going on right now with our kids. Even, you know, I have a Zoom conference today, or you know, everybody's on Zoom or everybody's on their phones, everybody's doing their banking, everybody is online. So these are such good pieces of advice. Because the FTC, CDC, everybody's giving these guidelines, but it's just so important to be wary of what might be going on behind the scenes, right?
Exactly, Natasha. And another thing I might add here, when possible, I would set up what's called 2-factor authentication. That means you have to have 2 pieces of information to be able to get into your account. You not only have to know your username, you have to know a password, and the second one is maybe something else that's unique to you. You know, Apple's Face ID is a great 2-factor authentication method, because you have to have a password to set up Face ID, but then Face ID is another method of authentication to get you into websites. And many websites are accepting that, and will have a prompt that you can just click and say, use my Face ID, and then you're just in as a second form of authentication. So if you have a chance to set up 2-factor authentication, I would highly encourage you to do so, yes.
Mike, are you aware of any classes or websites where people that would like to know more information could go to? Are there really helpful tips or?
You know, Stacy, I know the Department of Justice has some information out there, and that's just going to be at doj.gov.
Okay.
And you should be able to find articles out there about, I don't have an exact link, but there should be articles out there about phishing scams, email scams, staying safe on the internet, and things like that. Let's see. I had another note here I wanted to say. Yeah, don't reuse your passwords. You know, try and cycle through new passwords. It's tempting to want to reuse them because that way you don't have to remember them. You don't have to get into your password manager, or you can just flip over your keyboard and look at that post-it note that says, "Oh yeah, I use this one. I can use this one now." And she's laughing again. I must be hitting on a few chords with her here. But just,
I know. What about you know your Wi-Fi router? You know, I'm hearing that even teenagers are down at the park exchanging, you know, whose Wi-Fi turns off at 10 p.m. and midnight, and here's the login. And how important is it to update those things also?
You know, most Wi-Fi routers that are current today come with some pretty good security set up by default. You can certainly go in and turn on additional security measures with each one. It's a little bit technical, but you should go something off of just the default. You'll obviously want to change the administrator password with any Wi-Fi router that comes, because it's just going to be PASSW0RD. Change it. Put something else in there. Or you can you can also hide what's called the SSID, or the address that the wireless router broadcasts, so that unless you've got some pretty sophisticated equipment and some programs, you don't see it. So if somebody's driving by, they're not going to see Natasha's home or Beck's bungalow or Angie's crew here as they go by.
That may be the only thing I'm doing right. Mine isn't named. Oh, maybe not.
Oh,
it is now.
Wow, it's not confession time.
Murphy fan. I don't know.
Just go turn off the SSID broadcast on it, so that it's not being seen out there. And just quickly on another note, I know we're probably close on time. If you've got kids at home, and even if you don't, if you've got kids and they're school-age kids, you need to be having candid conversations with your kids about what they're seeing and what they're viewing on their phones. Okay, if we take a look at the internet, statistically, the two largest uses of the internet are for genealogy and pornography. Okay, pretty diametrically opposed as far as most people's moral value or compass, if you will. So chances are you and or your kids have stumbled across something they shouldn't have seen or they didn't really want to see. If they're afraid to come talk to you because they might get in trouble because, guess what, Mom, I saw this, and they're ashamed or they're scared to talk to you, that's not a healthy environment. So have hard conversations with your kids and say, okay, what are you seeing? There are a ton of apps out there on phones that kids get in trouble with. And I could start naming them, but I'd leave some off, so we just won't. But be aware and have a very frank and candid conversation with your kids and say, okay, let me see your phone. What are you doing? What is it? What is this app? Why do you use it? And things like that.
Absolutely. No, those are all so important. And again, during these times when people are using technology more than ever, whether it is for school, whether work, whether it's for entertainment, whether it's, somebody trying to get donation money, just, be so aware of what is going on with technology.
Yes.
Thanks,
Yes.
Mike. This was a lot of helpful information. It's a good reminder. And I think we get into it every day and we just forget, or we don't pay attention to the strengths
I
of
think we
things.
get going so fast sometimes that we say, oh, okay, let me click on this. It's like, boom, you're somewhere, you've seen something or gone somewhere you didn't mean to or you didn't intend to, or you shared information that you didn't mean to or intend to.
Spot on. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You bet.
Thank you. I'm going to go change all my passwords. Thank you, Mike.
Angie, let me know if you need a recommendation on a password manager. I can help you out. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, you all. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me this evening. Thanks.
It's been 2 months since the salons have been open. Is our wait over? We'll find out next on Studio Chatter. Welcome back to the chatter. With the move from level red to orange, our beloved salons can reopen. Say hello to Stephanie De La Paz from Salon De La Paz. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.
So my daughter works at your salon, and just last week I asked her, so what does De La Paz stand for? She's like, that's her last name. It's the owner's last name. I was like, oh. So
I didn't know that either. So I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah. So it's our last name. It means of the piece in Spanish.
Ooh.
So I kind of use that as it's helped me make a few decisions in our salon. Like I want it to be a nice, peaceful, comfortable place when people come in. And then just having my name as part of the name of the salon, kind of in a way, it's me putting my stamp of approval on anything that goes out the door. So that's why we decided to go with Salon de la Paz.
Okay, tell everyone where your salon is located.
We're right across the street from the rodeo grounds, on Main Street, next to In-N-Out, the emissions place. So a little plug for them.
Yeah, you might not be able to
So
stay
good.
next to In-N-Out for very much
okay.
longer, or people may end up on the other side of town because In-N-Out is under
Oh,
construction.
yes,
maybe
that's right.
brand
I
makers.
forgot about that.
Okay, I know where it is because I spend a lot of time in that parking lot at Devotion Dance Academy.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so there you go.
And Little
we're
Achievers,
by
right?
Devotion, Brand Makers is in there. Yeah, we love it. We love our location. It's great. Has plenty of parking for our clients and right on Main Street.
So Stephanie, sorry, Natasha. I just
go
wanted to
ahead.
ask, like my daughter wanted to do hair since she was a little girl. It was her dream. But at what point did you change from wanting to do that to being the owner of the salon and managing other women?
Well, when I was in hair school, we did a class. It was like a 1 night class about what would your dream salon look like. And ever since then, it was kind of in my brain, like, I think I might want to do that one day. And my husband, he's also a business owner. So when we got married, he was like, why don't you? Why don't you? And he kind of pushed me a little bit into it. I think I would have done it anyways, but he pushed me to do it a lot sooner than I had really planned on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the opportunity kind of came at a great time in my life too. It kind of fell in my lap. And so we just rolled with it.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So what do the coming weeks look like? Are the doors open now? How are you managing the space? How are the guys and gals working there? What can we expect?
So it is looking a little bit different than usual, mainly because we are now wearing masks. So this is what I look like most of the time right now. And we're required by the city and the health department and the governor to make sure that all of our stylists are wearing masks and our guests as well. So we are requiring masks. And then other than that, we are just keeping up with our cleaning, doing a little bit extra cleaning, but we always follow the state board's guidelines for that. And then we have had to limit the number of people who are working at a time right now. Mm-hmm. So there's not as many people in there so that we can keep our social distancing.
So does that look like someone in every other chair instead of every chair, not bringing guests, or?
Right. So we've spread out as much as we can, and then we are asking that any of our guests that come in, they don't bring anyone extra with them, like no kids or siblings or anything, just because we don't want those extra people in there kind of causing our client to stress out. So, and we're supposed to be social distancing, so like I said, we'll do whatever we have to be able to work.
And with the social distancing, now that people are coming back, what has been like the most missed treatment or service that you guys give? What have people been wanting or missing the most?
I would say most of our clients that are wanting to come in, they want their roots touched up. They want their grays covered. Some of our short hair clients are going crazy with their hair growing out. So that's been the biggest thing, I would say.
I would totally agree with that. I've seen a bunch of men too, that their hairstyle is totally changed different because it's grown out so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, you look different.
Yeah.
Then they probably look at my roots and be like, hi, grandma.
Well, I think it's so true. So I think having been home now every day, all day, I'm, I think I can handle dry shampoo one more day.
Yes.
I mean, so you talk about the roots or the dry shampoo, or people probably just like, when was the last time they had somebody else wash their hair or trim it or wax something or trim trim their eyebrows. I mean, we've seen the jokes, right, with everybody's nails grown out and the roots showing and all. So I'm sure that people are just, your bookings are probably not failing at all.
Yes, I think most people are just happy to be there, and they are just very excited to get, their roots touched up and looking good again, for when they get to go out in public and see other people. Or a lot of people are doing these Zoom calls. They still want to look good for those. So it's been fun. It's been great to be open again.
Stephanie, I noticed. Oh, go ahead, Stacey.
I was just going to ask, will you share with us the services that you do offer?
Yes, we do. Hair color is our main service. That's what we focus on the most. And then besides that, we do lots of haircuts. We do waxing, like facial waxing. We have a nail tech and a lash artist, and those two are both amazing at what they do. All of our girls really are super talented. And they just go above and beyond. I feel like I can count on any one of them. They do a great job.
So what's the best way to book a service at the salon?
The best way is to go to www.salondelapaz.com. And from there, you can just click book now. And it's so easy. We get lots of compliments of how easy our online booking system is.
I also love how up to date your social media is on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me because I do most of our Instagram, and so a lot of my hard work goes into that.
It's a lot of work. I can appreciate that.
It is a lot of work. It is. You're right.
Has anyone done like an extreme makeover coming out of COVID? I noticed on Instagram yesterday, this girl that has this curly long hair, she went straight and short and then did bangs. And it was like COVID makeover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, we have had a few what we call color corrections where we've had people who have tried or have done their own hair color at home that we've had to fix. Actually, Bree had one just the other day. She had colored her hair blue and then wanted to go blonde, and so it was a challenge, but I was super proud of how it turned out. Bree did a great job.
Oh, good. I didn't ask her about it yet. I knew she had one. I just assumed it would.
Old ladies at home trying to root touch up, and it goes like really black or really gray. I don't know.
No, I'm one of those root touch ups because Bree started back to work on Monday. And I had like my Fiesta Days meeting this week, city council, studio chatter. Then I'm on Zoom meetings. She's like, do you want to get in this week? I'm like, can you do me Friday? So I had her do it last Friday because it was so bad. Like in pictures, I could just see all this gray.
And we're all our own worst critic, right? So probably no one would have even noticed.
Oh, no, I'm really gray.
Well, just for fun before we wrap up here, did you see the story of the stylist in Texas getting arrested? And how do you feel about that?
So, and from my view, I mean, I can see where she's coming from because it's a free country, right? It's supposed to be a free country. But I do also believe totally in protecting the community, and I feel like I will do whatever it takes. I will wear this mask all day long if it means that I can work. So I'm just happy to be there.
That's
Stephanie, I'm so impressed with you. And I know you were one of the very first salons that closed their doors in Spanish Fork. Like you really are following the governor's directive. You've taken this seriously. You've instructed your girls at your salon. You're social distancing. You've extended hours. Like you're trying to just do your best to help this pandemic go away. And now you're back. And I'm so glad that you guys are all back to work. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Thanks so much for being here with us. There's more studio chatter coming right up. Welcome back. Maybe we'll be back in the studio next time. No?
Okay. Producer Pete says no.
But it says but it's because we're not safe. Yes.
Yes.
Hey, you both
And
can't
we'd have
talk
to
at the
be
same
6
time.
feet apart, and then it doesn't look good on camera, and we look really good.
Yeah, doing this.
I have to admit, like when we do wrap here, that it is kind of nice to just go, to the TV.
Yeah. Like it could become a thing that we just record from home.
It's what, it's really strange. I honestly can't remember the last time I put gas in my car. Like the distances you go are so minimal. It's like back and forth out of the driveway to somewhere,
I'm just
Walmart,
going through
Walmart.
my head. Studio at Home Chatter. That could be the name of our new show.
Studio at Home Chatter. Or just
Right?
at Home Chatter.
At Home Chatter.
That sounds so boring.
That does.
That we're at home chatting with each other.
We won't do that.
Well, why don't we tell Pete? We'll do it one more time, Pete. That's what we'll give you.
And
come soon. We're coming down to the studio.
We'll be outside.
Ticketing. I think that you need some at-home school discipline. We don't. Yes, you should come to school with my children so that we can tell you what you can ask us what you're going to do. You don't tell us what you're going to do. And if you don't go anywhere down the street, you must take your gizmos so that we can track you at all times. And if you would like a popsicle, please don't offer one to everyone else. Or if mommy's making snow cones, that doesn't mean to go offer it to everybody on the block all the time.
You guys, in a nutshell, just right there.
Yes. Yeah,
Natasha's not going to last at home much longer, Pete. We've got to get her out.
The virtual trip to Hawaii was good, but it was not great. You can only go so far. We've had a lot of fun, and I've stolen some ideas from our friends that have done, international travel week, and they've gone to Italy, they've gone to Mexico, they've gone to Hawaii, they've gone to Japan. That's
overachievers. That's a lot.
They kind of are. I was tired after Mexico. I have to admit, I'm like, I got my Lagosita, I'm out. As we know, Natasha is still eating her way through all of the distance. But look, I did have to show you this.
Is that a new band?
Are you so proud of me?
Natasha, after all these years.
I know. I had to give up the old one. And it even has paint splatters on it from my DIY project.
She's a true painter, a true artist.
She is.
I am.
Oh my gosh.
I gifted myself. Everybody else had apparently COVID brain or something. They forgot me on Mother's Day, but I'm okay. I hope that you ladies weren't forgotten, and hopefully we learned something today. I know those little nuggets from Mike are just golden. Honestly, be safe online. So happy the salons are back open. And the seniors, how exciting is that?
Good news for them.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, as good as can be expected. Yeah.
Well, I learned I need to change maybe my password a little bit more than what I do. Not have my Wi-Fi be my last name. I don't know. You guys, I'm semi-safe. I do have some rotating, but I do need to work on that. At least I'm not clicking on links on random emails, okay? Yeah. And when the IRS calls me and says that they're going to come arrest me because I haven't paid my taxes, that's fake. Okay.
You know better.
I do know. No. Yep.
Well, and with the phone, if you ever get the robo voice saying that they need to take your social security number, please do not type it in.
And I think just having dialogue like this is so helpful for all different generations. We assume, okay, if you're a teenager or a young adult, you're going to know this. But no, I've talked to my kids before, and they've been caught on things. And I know one of my kids gave money to someone in Florida, and we're like, that was a $200. That was a minimum loss compared to someone that has lost their whole savings, their life savings. This can happen to the elderly. So I think keeping this dialogue open and sharing when we do get these scams so we can be extra alert.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. It was good information. It made me realize that I do need to be a little bit safer, but also that I'm doing something right. So, yep, share it with others.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you in studio next time.
Happy May. It's a better month.
Thank you, Stacy. We're looking up.
Okay. I have a good one here. And I borrowed this from Chick-fil-A's window. April distance means May existence. Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. See you next time.
Bye-bye.